Have you ever had an interaction with somebody and you walk away like, damn, your chest getting a little tight, you replaying what they said, replaying what you said, and you're low-key annoyed that they was allowed to even get that reaction out of you? I used to think that meant it was something wrong with me. Like I was just too sensitive, or I took things a little bit too personal. But the more I started paying attention, I realized I wasn't reacting because I was weak. I was reacting because I still cared. I was attached to how they saw me, and I just really didn't realize it yet. Getting triggered isn't about anger, it's about attachments. Because what I began to notice is that certain people get under your skin more than others would. And more than likely, it's the closest one to you that can get a reaction out of you faster than a stranger. Because, like, think about it. If you look up to someone, like, say, an older brother, that you think they get fly, they wear the best clothes, they know how to put it together, and you really respect your older brother's opinion. If you put together an outfit and you're like, hey bro, what do you think about my outfit? And your brother like, bro, that's trash. Your outfit is trash. You would be more heartbroken because your brother told you that than some stranger that you don't even respect how they dressed anyway. So our close ones have more power over our emotions. And strangers, they don't really hit that same nerve because you don't know them, you don't really care about their opinion. So anything they say to you, it's probably just gonna bounce right off. You're never probably gonna see this person again. And even if it do bother you a little bit, give it about a day or two, you're not even thinking about it anymore. And this is just a realization that has sparked my interest, because I'm beginning to see that our reactions are correlated to our emotional investment in certain individuals. If we don't care, we don't react emotionally at all. We go along with our day. Like, for example, I've been battle rapping for years. And I get on stage and me and other rappers go head to head and we say the most disrespectful stuff to each other back and forth. And at the end of that battle, we shake each other's hand. Now, if somebody I was close to, like a brother, a sister, or a cousin that I love dearly would say these same things to me, it would have probably crushed me and be bothering me for days to come, maybe weeks, even years. But being that I don't really know these people that I'm rapping with, it's not really gonna bother me. And I can even argue the fact a lot of people that I did battle after we done disrespected each other on stage, we pretty much became good friends afterwards. That's because, you know, when there is really no emotional investment, words don't hurt as much. Even if we're like going back and forth online and it's before the battle and, you know, we're throwing insults through Twitter, Facebook, even in those instances, while it bothers me for a little while, I understand that a lot of it is just to try to provoke an emotional response out of me. And being that these people are, you know, they're just rappers, it really doesn't faze me as much. That's why I was able to do it for so long. We can even break this down to, you know, after the battle drop and, you know, you start seeing insulting comments at the bottom of your battle, you know, people slay us. They be doing us crazy. I've heard things like, look at Drift with the garbage bag on his head, you know, So people try to get an emotional reaction and be seen all the time, but none of those bother me because I know I don't care about these people, you know? And they can have all the criticism they want, you know? There's a big difference between criticism and disrespect, you know? Unless somebody is like blatantly disrespecting me, that's a stranger, most of what they say is not gonna bother me. Even when they are getting blatantly disrespectful, I'm able to walk away from that situation quicker than I would going back and forth with a loved one. Because for one, how I feel about it is, you don't get triggered by someone you don't care about. Reaction is information, and triggers usually point to attachment, not weakness. I'm becoming more aware of this. And once I really noticed that, I stopped trying to calm myself down. But this is where most advice loses people. Telling people to stay calm ignores why they're reacting. So I don't know why we like to do that. I know I don't like it. Telling me to just let it go or calm down while I'm hurting right now is pretty much redundant, and it makes no sense. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't. Usually, by the time I'm reacting and I'm lashing out is because I'm already emotionally invested in the situation. So you telling me to calm down pretty much is giving me advice that lacks emotional context. You're not even taking my feelings into consideration. You're just trying to, you know, send me off to the finish line and stop me from going through the process that it takes for me to even get there. So pretty much you telling me to calm down, it's a performative aspect, and it's not emotionally aware at all. Because I kid you not, most of us, by the time we reacted, we was trying to suppress our emotions in the first place. So I've already went through the emotional roller coaster and tried to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna react, I'm not gonna react, I'm not gonna react. And then the water boiled over and then I exploded. So I can't just calm down. My volcano already erupted already. I can't really just pretend that I don't care because I already tried that already. No matter how much I try to mask my feelings and act like I'm okay, it's gonna get to the point where you're gonna realize that I'm still feeling it later. So basically what I'm saying is, you can look calm but still be boiling in the inside. Detachment isn't pretending, and suppression isn't peace. So if you ever acted unbothered, but you still continue to replay the situation in your mind all night, this is probably why. Detachment is reducing emotional investment, not eliminating feelings. Usually when I'm at the point where I'm detaching from someone, it's because I see that the situation no longer serves me and I don't want to take on that person's baggage. Because when we come in relationships with people, whether friends, couples, family members, we are taking in their emotional baggage. So once we start to feel like the relationship is becoming unhealthy and I'm becoming overwhelmed with the situation, I think that detaching is probably the best thing I should do at that moment. Because nobody wants to take on more than what they can handle. Usually when you detach from someone you love, it can get very uncomfortable at first. But most of the time, you know, from my experience, it's pretty necessary. Because once you're in a toxic relationship that is no longer benefiting either of you, then staying attached to that situation is going to negatively impact your life, at least from my experience. And I know that us as humans, all I can do is speak from, you know, my observations. We tend to get way too attached to other people's lives. That's why even like, we have our favorite, you know, artists, our favorite sports players, and we get so attached to their lives that even their emotional baggage is tied to us, and we probably never met these people a day in our lives. So being too attached to someone, you're basically giving them access to your nervous system, and you probably can emotionally react at any time. Living life, you just start to see that you only have but so much energy that you can put towards anything. Some people, they get energy off of you reacting. They feel good that they could get you out of character. So I just try to, read every situation for what it is, so I don't make the mistake and just giving too much love and too much energy and too much chi to people that don't really deserve it from me. So I say that to say this: detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you stop giving people control over your nervous system. Because some people rely on your reaction just to feel powerful. Don't give them that. And once I saw that, I stopped asking why this bothers me so much. Pause for a second. If this is landing for you, don't just listen, engage. Like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe if you want more conversations like this. All right, let's get back to it. This part was uncomfortable for me because you don't detach by force. You detach by noticing patterns. And I've been catching myself, reacting the same way over and over again. Every time I even try to, not react, I caught myself as like, it's just a pattern of don't react, all in my head. But then my blood boils, then boom. Just something I'm beginning to notice. And this is not something that triggers me from everybody. I start to notice that it's like the same people that constantly drain me, and I'm just beginning to be aware of it. So rather than me getting into a confrontation with, people that I do care about, even though we probably don't click like that, I rather choose distance than to bump heads. Regardless if, it's even people that I don't know. It could be, me walking down the street, or even could be through social media, based off politics and just me and somebody's ideologies probably don't match. If that's the case, then there is certain situations where I would not even put myself in arm's reach with these people because I know we're not gonna connect. Or as soon as certain topics come up, I know we're not gonna connect. Old circles, old friends that we care about each other, but we just don't click because old Band-Aids will get ripped off. Old scars will get reopened. I just be trying to avoid that a lot of times. And I just don't want my avoidance to be mistaken for a weakness. No, I'm actually just being grounded and choosing me above all. So in my opinion, my silence is more of a strength. We could love each other from far. We don't have to be, like we probably used to be in the past. Some people are just around for a season. That's why, detachments happen naturally once I notice the patterns. I didn't have to announce it. Distance did the work for me. You probably know who you are, Still love you, but we don't gotta rock like that. And this is the part that I'm still learning. Peace comes from awareness, not control. So I choose to live and let go and let people be who they are. And if who they are is affecting me in any kind of way, then I'm going to choose distance over toxicity. I'm gonna choose that every time. I don't think I need to correct, explain, or prove anything To the people I decided to detach from, we should already have an understanding, and there's no need to try and recoup our relationship. We are better where we are. As you can see, I'm doing very well, and God bless them. Hopefully they're doing very well as well. I'd rather, be strategic and tactical and just at least aware of where I'm pointing my energy so I know the direction I'm going. So I don't have to win every interaction, because some reactions cost more than they're actually worth. Peace isn't silence, it's selectivity. I don't think people trigger us by accident. I think they touch parts of us that are still attached, still invested, still hoping for something different. And once I realized that, I stopped trying to stay calm. I stopped trying to look unbothered. I just started choosing what I stayed attached to. And honestly, that changed everything. It's Manny SharQ on Nubian Bread Network. I'm just thinking out loud. Until next time, peace. If this way of thinking matters to you, you already know what to do. Subscribe, stay connected, and I'll see you in the next one.